He's not very good with the eye contact. I don't ever know if he's really listening.
When I ask him something, it's like, I want a decision. I don't care, baby. Whatever you say, no, that's not an answer. I need an answer.
Women want emotion and men want physical.
We want our cars.
I think they already pretty much know what they're after when they approach a woman, that they go after them for their looks and they have more than just talk in mind.
And welcome back to Houston Life. Now we are back with marriage and family therapist Dr. Viviana Coles and certified sex therapist Emily De Ayala.
And of course, we can't forget about our very special guest today, Mr. Man, the defender of the male gender. We've altered his appearance and voice today so he won't be subject to, you know, making all of us mad, making women mad, making men mad, because he's giving away the secrets.
Or violating his man card.
Exactly. So listen, in the previous segment, we were talking about some of these male stereotypes. But Mr. Man, I want to start by asking you, what are some of the things that drive you crazy about women?
I hope this is a long segment.
He hopes it's a long
I got a list. I'm going to pull out my list. We're going to talk about these things, because I think this is a good overall overview. They always have something, they always have to do these unimportant tasks. Like you're going to a party, you're going to a movie, you've got some big event to go to, and all of a sudden, all these mundane tasks become important, and showing up on time is not important.
Well, wait a minute. No, hold on. We're just getting those tasks done so that we're done and it's all completed before.
And we can enjoy.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to enjoy the party, you can help with some of the tasks.
Yes, that way we can get out of the door on time.
You had all day to do this.
We
5 o'clock in the afternoon.
to do this.
Is this gender specific? Because guys, I've got to tell you, I had an ex who did this. We'd be going to the airport, and he'd be like, "Oh, I've got to like run to get something to eat." So, is this really a gender thing?
I think a lot of it has to do with who in the relationship takes most responsibility for getting these mundane tasks done.
Allegedly, Mr. Man, you just got an eye roll.
I guarantee, Mr. Man, you will miss these things if they're not done anymore. I guarantee it.
Or you're threatening to leave him?
What's your next thing, Mr. Man?
No matter what restaurant, we're going to go out and eat dinner. No matter what restaurant I suggest, it's no.
Because we already know where we want to go.
Then why don't you just say it? They're like, you pick. I picked 4 of the top restaurants you love. You don't want to go there.
Well, because then if we do pick, then you tell us we're being bossy and controlling. So I think at times it's just a matter of, we do have a preference, but we want to give you a chance, because if you feel really strongly about something, maybe we'll choose to give you that one.
That sounds like a waste of time.
Throw you a bone.
Fighting about where to eat. I mean, if the only thing you're fighting about in your relationship is which restaurant to go to, I'd say you're doing pretty well.
And I think, you know, sometimes there's one person in a relationship who's a little more easygoing, and they really don't care where you go out to eat. And so one person may tend to be the decision maker. That's not always a bad thing. You don't want it to be totally one-sided, though. I want to encourage both people in the relationship to voice their opinion if they really want to go eat those.
Yeah, because the I don't care can get very annoying.
Yes, it can.
All right, Mr. Man.
Okay, here's one that you'll appreciate. Women read romance novels and dream of the lifestyles portrayed in the movies. And then they compare that to what they've settled for. If I was just married to Fabio, right? You know what the #1 guy rule is? Don't make the favorite thing you like to do your job.
Huh. Okay.
Do women really think Fabio is attractive?
I hope not in most of the cases. You know, as adults, we have the ability to separate fantasy from reality. You know, one of the reasons why, like, 50 Shades of Grey was so popular is because it tapped into a lot of women's fantasies. Would most women actually want to be married to someone like that? Probably not. Is it fun to discuss and share some of the fantasies with your partner? Yes. And sometimes that's where it ends.
Sometimes it ends in a real good night.
Yes, I find that a lot of the clients that come in that have had issues with infidelity or something, it's because they haven't been able to figure out what's fantasy and what's reality. So I do think that a lot of times
just now we're really asking women to tap into fantasy, whereas men have been using that fantasy file for ages. And it's really hard for them to
Shades of Grey is
differentiate.
the first thing that I can think of for women that's really come forward to tap into that fantasy.
In the
realm.
mainstream.
Yeah.
And I encourage both people to be wary of that grass is always greener on the other side. It's really important to practice gratitude in your relationship and talk to each other about that. Share your appreciations for your partner. It goes a long way for both sexes.
All right, Mr. Man, share your next one.
Guys never know where they stand after sex with women. They need to be better communicators. Guys are not the bad communicators, it's the women. They say, hey, I'm naked, make me happy.
Well, that's because y'all go to sleep right after.
No, I'll give him this one. I will give him this one because women are notorious for, yes, they do want to talk after sex, but they don't want to get the kind of feedback that the guy is wanting, which is always a bravo.
Like a performance review?
Awesome.
Do you really want a performance review, Mr. Man?
No, this is not what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is if you don't communicate what makes you happy, how can you improve the next experience?
Okay.
We get all the blame later.
Okay, now that I can work with. I do think, of the clients I see, women are more likely to expect their men to be mind readers. And I think we talked about this a little bit yesterday. It is of utmost importance that you communicate your desires and give, constructive feedback to your partner because we're not mind readers. We just aren't.
And I'm reading between the lines here, but I'm assuming, Mr. Man and Emily, you're talking about actually providing feedback in the moment, like do this, that feels good, don't do
Right
that.
after.
Absolutely.
That's what most men really want, and that's what most women are not really wanting to tap into. They just want to enjoy the cuddling and the, but when they do want to talk it, which is about maybe over lunch, the men are like, we're not there. No.
And let me add one point, and I'm sorry, ladies, but this is true that there's a chemical that's released after the male orgasm, specifically after the male orgasm, that makes them very sleepy. And it's not released in women, so there's a bit of a gender difference.
It's not our fault, guys.
Men's melatonin.
We gotta leave it there.